You rolling? Oh yeah, we back again. Part two, Black Hole. Man, I'm not even finna do it. We got Mr. Donna Bennett for the part two. Who's finna kick it on recreation. What recreation looks like to different groups. Um, and what's the other topic? Business. Opening up businesses. I think that's what it was. But I'm gonna just let Mr. Donna Bennett take the floor. I don't have to ask no questions really, but I'm gonna lead off by what does recreation mean to you and what does recreation look like to you?
To me might be different than someone else. So I appreciate the question. Recreation might be baseball, basketball, track and field. A lot of people look at that as recreation, which I think it is. But there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, is it a good gathering space where people can get together where, one, not only for exercise, but do we have facilities? Do we have a place where we can bowl or have skating or some activities that people just enjoy. Pickleball is real big, and I'm so glad for Project Horseshoe Farms. They put a pickleball court in a building here in downtown Marion where people can go in and get the exercise and enjoy themselves. But we want to expand into so much more so people can say, I have a place that I can go, exercise, recreation it could be a real good party. It could be us gathering together and expressing ourselves through our enjoyment through a nice party or gathering space. I was even mentioning to TJ a little earlier. We were talking about a nice cigar bar, but a real comfortable upscale cigar bar where people can come together, gather, talk, and enjoy themselves in a safe environment where we're having fun. To me, all of those things encompass recreation.
Yeah.
The eateries, the types of food that we have here. Do we have varieties that's going to also gravitate toward the visitors that we want coming in? We want this not just to say this is a tourist town, but we want it to be a tourist destination where somebody, when they start thinking that they want to go somewhere for a vacation, we're so close to Atlanta, instead of them saying, I'm going to Atlanta or I'm going to go over to Tuscaloosa, I'm going to Marion. I can get some good food. There are some things to do. There's some things to see. And with our history, there's so much to learn. And so if we could provide those things from that perspective, that's recreation, that's tourism. We were even talking about what about the fields that young people here in this community could go into instead of saying, once I graduate, I'm leaving. What can keep them here? I asked a question on my Facebook page. What is it? What would it take to keep young people in this town once they graduate high school? And I always gravitate toward we need good employment. We need to have jobs that pay not just a job, but a career that you can build. And how do we bring that in? We're actively working on that every day. I know I'm passionately working on that every day. And hopefully we have some announcements soon that we can talk about that will bring the type of career building jobs here in this area that can retain our young people, to build families, to have homes, so we can start putting that money back into our community, which creates a tax base, which we can start. We said we want roads repaired. If the money is going into our tax base and utilized as it should be, there's no excuse that we can't rebuild, redevelop the place that we call home to want to stay here. That's what I'm looking at. And that's what I look at when I say recreation, because that ties in to like the walking and biking trail. We just had a meeting about that walking and biking trail coming to a regional walking biking trail, which will come from Selma to Marion, Marion to Greensboro, and on to New Bern. And so when I look at a trail like that, the first thing comes to my mind is how is that going to fit into our economics of this area? So if you can put bike rentals all along the way, then now that's a potential opportunity for someone to invest into that.
Certain
Where they
vendors could.
absolutely skateboards. A lot of people love that venue. It's getting people outside. It's adding that value into our community that will bring people from outside into our city. And so, could we have food trucks along the way? Could we have the concession stands along the way? These are business opportunities that could come along with the walking and the biking trail that's going to be regional. And that regional connection, it starts tying people in from the Selma and the Greensboro and New Berns, and everybody will be easily accessible to each city. So instead of us looking independently saying, well, we're Marion. Well, no, we're the Black Belt. So the Black Belt needs to support each other. So Marion's going to support Selma, and Selma supports us, and Greensboro, and all of that tied in. If we do that, we'll start growing the Black Belt and creating that growth within the Black Belt. There's a organization that I'm also affiliated with, the John Robert Lewis Black Belt organization out of Selma. And what we're focused on is building economics. It's a movement to build the economy within the Black Belt. It's not an organization, it's a movement. And the movement means we must start looking at the economics of the Black Belt and bringing us back to strength and jobs and looking out for each other. And this is the only way that we're going to do it, is start getting people from every age group taking it serious, that we have to build upon the history of our area and bring people back in so we can start bringing those jobs back into the Black Belt.
Sounds good to me. When you think of recreation, do you have a spot in mind? Like it, uh, it accompanies different things. Bowling alley,
Mm-hmm.
sitting down having a cold beer,
Yes.
uh, cigar lounge. Did you or have you run across any locations?
Very good question. There's multiple locations, and I'm looking at, we have assets that if we partner together, we can help grow those assets. There's a park which is on Industrial Drive, and it's the city owns that ballpark. If we collectively work together, whether it could the city, the county, nonprofits, collectively trying to pool money in. TJ and I were talking earlier. We were saying, could you imagine having venues out at that area where those proceeds would go into the park and the community, make it an effort that we go out and we clean that park. Everybody has a zero turn. And we can get tractors out there. We can pool our resources together and fix that park up and make it one that we can all enjoy. And that's recreation, which ties in, excuse me, with our walking and our biking trail. If we tie those in, those are our parks that we work on. Secondly, around where we're talking at the depot is where that trail is going to go behind the Marion Depot. And to develop that area all the way around the Marion Depot and make that green space. So you could go and sit outside with an umbrella and enjoy yourself and have a snack and talk to your family. And when we have our reunions and people come and visit, we have these spots that we could take them to for that recreation and enjoy ourselves. And I think those are just two of the spots. And I'm not really familiar with, but I was asking a question about the Albert Turner Elementary School that used to exist or exists out at Francis Marion location. I don't know what that building's used for, but is that something that could be converted? When we start talking about recreation and entertainment, I start thinking about you all specifically with the talents that you have with music and film, and can we convert some of those into a sound studio?
Right.
Can we help get that type of talent where we can start getting those type of trainings put where we got more people growing in that field?
Yeah, because now in Marion we have, but not just Marion, Black Belt area, we have trap, cameraman. We have my cousin Emma, she's been putting out movies and things like that, so
Right.
that could be a nice space,
I,
for
I
that
think
also.
I think it deserves some discussion
Yeah,
and get the people that are all the people that need to be involved to have the discussion and talk about what is, because I don't believe one idea is the idea that we have to hop on. I just have an idea about some things, but that doesn't make it right or wrong.
right.
But let's have that discussion. And then the group, let the consensus of the group say, yeah, that's the direction that we want to go in. And then let's get
This
behind
one,
it.
yeah.
Yes. So we need to start supporting one another, regardless of whose idea it is. I just like, get the right people at the table. Let's talk about it. Throw the ideas out there. Once everybody votes on which one we're going to follow, that's the one that we're gonna get behind, and
I'm
we're gonna
glad
see
you
if we
said
can make
it
it
like
happen.
that because I know this ain't ideal, but I gotta get behind him. I got your back. I gotta run. Family calls.
Oh, I
We're
understand.
gonna let Lo take over. It was nice. Man. It was a
Look, I
pleasure.
really appreciate it.
It
Thank you
was
so
a
much.
pleasure. Yeah,
All
y'all
right.
holler at me when y'all be done, man. One. But yeah, that all completely sounds intriguing. We definitely need to all get on one accord so we could stop segregating each other, to say more or less. But
It does happen, and I do see. You may have a thought of something, and you might work toward bringing it about. And people's opinions. Everybody has their opinions, which is good. But we don't have to come with hostility if you disagree. Disagree. I definitely embrace another viewpoint because absolutely, because there's a lot about certain subjects. I may initially throw out an idea and I might be completely off base.
right.
But talking to people, they might say, but there might be one little element or aspect of it that we can incorporate. And then now we put together a consensus and we can move with that. But there has to be a way of having discussion without hostility, and we can move it forward because you cannot take everything someone says personal. I don't take it personal. I'm out here volunteering every day and night and on weekends, but to try to make things better. Why? Because this is my community. So well, he didn't grow up here. I grew up in America, and I'm an American. I live here now, and I pay my taxes. So I'm from Marion because I pay my taxes here. I have a home here. I have businesses here.
See the potential.
Yes, and I see the potential. So instead of me telling somebody else what I think they should do, I get up every day and say, what can I do to make it better? And that's what we all have to do. And if we did that, I think the sky's the limit.
What does the start, because the start is the main thing to get things on. What does the start look like?
For me, it looks like when we have open discussions like the other day when we were talking about the walking and biking trail, we posted it up on Facebook. We had handouts. We put it out there. We were trying to get as many people here to talk about, to voice your opinion on what we're bringing here. Well, we'll offer those things, and we did have a good crowd. I would say we had about 35 people. But we always say we have about 3,000 people in Marion. I think we could have packed this place out where everybody's viewpoint is discussed and we can have some. But I do understand a lot of people are working in the hours that we had it. Everyone can't make every meeting. But email us, put it on social media, give us the questions. Let's talk about it. We're going to have more sessions, and I'm going to try to move the time, some in the mornings, some midday, and some in the evening, so more people can participate and we can get those viewpoints. Those are the type of things, that's what I see us having that initial discussion so we can determine how we can come together on an idea and move it forward. And like I said, just getting people at the table. And I think you have to have public and private partnerships. So that means everybody's not going to go to city council meeting because they have their agendas and things that they're going to run through. So sometimes to take outside discussion so we can have an open forum like this, sit down, grab a cup of coffee at Benny's Coffee Cafe. Let's sit down here and let's talk about issues, and we can put them in categories, whether it could be economic development or safety or education or whatever it might be, or as we had said a little earlier, that we can start talking about what does recreation look like. So all of those discussions could be in there, and we can talk about that. Exactly. And then how do we come to that consensus by just getting everybody to be able to voice their opinions. And so those are the type of things that I look at. And when I look at the town, there's with all the potential, but we have to look at one common fact. If we said that everything is fine around here, we've been doing great, and there's no issues here, we're fooling ourselves or we're lying to ourselves. There's so much more that can be done, but there's a lot of players that have to be participants as well. So it's not all on government. We can't always say our elected officials, that's your job. No, it's our job. And the elected officials have to be present to hear what the community is saying and be responsive to what the community is saying. And that's what we have to do. And so I think if we had culinary arts training, hospitality training, all of those things fit within your community just like anything else. So one, we know how to talk to each other, how to talk to a customer when they come into your establishment. That builds people coming back. And then we have to be able to talk about some of the buildings that we have. It was proposed some years ago, they were going to renovate the old jailhouse that we have here, and they were going to turn it into a museum. I don't know all the particulars behind why it didn't get developed, but I know Dr. Billie Jean Young, she was such an ardent leader and taking that project on, and she was going to get that project finished. But unfortunately, after she passed away, the project just kind of went dormant and fell aside, and now we're looking at the building just sitting there. There's been some talk in the past about potentially selling it to National Park Service or letting them have it or something and see what we can do. But I don't know what happened throughout that discussion, but it needs to be revisited because that is the something for people to do when they come to our city, that they can go into that museum and hear about that rich history and our culture of Marion, Alabama, and how it actually changed not only the area, but the country as a whole from events that took place right here that transitioned over to Selma. Marion, where a lot of those, where it started from the event that took place here, we need to be recognized for that. We need to teach the country about that. And we got to get that out to the world. And so when these people come, they want to come to Marion, and then they can have a place to stay, things to see and do, and really great food.
Because it's really about like the simple thing you say, it's something to do.
Yes.
People don't have anything to do. That's why so much chaos or
Yes.
social media is taking over. People don't go outside anymore, so because they don't have anything to do but look on their phone and watch other people be outside.
I agree. And that's why I was saying, so if we can come together and we can develop and Devron, he mentioned, he said, do I have a couple places in mind to start with? The park on Industrial Drive and over by the depot. If we can make those outdoor green spaces and really make it comfortable, safe, and things to do at those in those green space areas, I think that would be a start where people can say, I can go out there, I can watch our kids play a nice ball game and have a nice play area for other kids. If they're not playing the games, they can play out in a nice little play area. We can do this. And I think if we come together with the right ideas collectively, we can get it done.
Anything is possible.
And I'm more than willing to always participate in any way that I can. I'm limited in time because I always volunteer for different things to do. And some people have even challenged me and said, well, you've been at Main Street for some time. How come you haven't gotten it done yet? Well, and I'm not being facetious. I'm really not. But if God can take 6 days to build the earth, give me a little time to kind of help out with building our town. Work with me. I'm trying because night and day, I'm working on either a grant or a proposal or some type of document where I have to have a meeting with Main Street Marion, with the airport, and on many boards, working with Sweet Trails Alabama, with the walking and biking trails, the organization in Selma trying to help to try to bring industry into this area, working with Commerce Department and trying to make sure that we can bring more jobs into the area. It takes a lot of time, but it's not just doing it, it's doing it well. So it takes a lot of my time because just saying I'm doing something, a title means absolutely nothing to me. It's just something that's there to identify what I'm working on.
Right.
Your title doesn't identify who you are.
So it really sounds like you're putting boots on the ground out here. So do you get comments like that from people that are not even stepping at all?
Yes, I get those comments from people that are making no moves. They are not making any effort to really bring any type of betterment here. They just talk.
I'm curious. So what does it do to like this? Because they got to be a little frustrated.
It does, but you still have to be respectful because all questions are valid questions. It's how you respond to it. That's why I say you never take it personal. You continue to give them the facts and you continue to work your plan. As long as you have a plan, work it. As a matter of fact, I'm still working through the strategic plan that I received from Delta Regional Authority. We have a team of us that are working on that, and soon we'll be putting out a survey and we'll be coming up with suggestions and what we're going to do with the strategic plan to lay it out, how we're going to grow Perry County as a whole, not just the city, but that encompasses Uniontown, Marion, out in New Bern, all of it. We're going to talk about how do we grow it.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
It's not nothing deep or anything,
Mhm.
but you personally, how do you choose to release your frustration or calm yourself?
I mean, really, that's a really good question, and the answer is I love music. I love music. I can't play a lick, but I love music. I'm from Motown, and you put on some nice Motown music, Four Tops, Temptations, and Diana Ross Supremes, Marvin Gaye. Come on, that really does something. So it eases my mind, and I love movies, and so I love watching movies that have a message in them, and I learn a lot from different movies. My wife, she's a book collector, and she owns a bookstore here in town, and she has a YouTube channel. So she's everything books, all about books. So with that, on top of the music, my passion is cooking. I love to cook. And so I have an event that's going to be coming up next month. And I think I'm going to host it here. And it's going to be called What's in the Gumbo. So I'm going to be making gumbo. And so it has an analogy because in order to make a good gumbo, you have to have the right ingredients. Well, those ingredients is our community. And so you have to have the right ingredients to go into that gumbo. And when you're done with the right ingredients of the conversation, you're going to come out with one wonderful, remarkable tasting gumbo. Well, our community is that. So we're going to put it in, and I'm going to feed the community, and we're going to talk about it. What's in the gumbo? That's right. It's coming.
That.
And so we're going to put it together, and we're going to bring everybody together. One, have you ever noticed it's hard for somebody to be mad at you that you're feeding? I mean, I was a customer service manager at a major airline, and I retired from. But when I worked there, and I used to have to give some real tough policy changes to our work crews at times, I would always feed them first. And it was, and when I get done, they would say, "He got us again. He fed us." But I'm sitting here feeling good, and yeah. But that's how sometimes you gotta ease the pain with some good food. Yeah, can't do it. So I think if we sit down and break bread, and that's how I want to use that term. If we break bread together, we can start getting past our differences. And so instead of, well, who's giving me something? No, what are we giving each other? So even if I lay out some food, you're giving me some conversation. So I'm learning. So we're giving something to each other. So one of the things about it, I can learn, and I do learn from everybody every day, even the ones that disagree with me. Now, if you're very hostile, I don't tolerate that. I mean, I tolerate disagreements. I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't do that because I respect people to the utmost, but I do not tolerate disrespect. And so I just ignore it, I shut it down, and I walk away in a different direction. But I think if I'm really cooking and I'm listening to some good music, I'm calm. Things are good. Yeah. So, but we have to be able to walk away from those frustrations. But I look at it, I'm 65 years old. I'll be 66 later on this year. And I have children, grandchildren, and I love kids. And I love seeing them come together and laugh and enjoy themselves. And if I can love that from my family, then my community, I want to be a part of that family as well. And I want this community family to be able to enjoy each other and going out to a park in a good game. And well, my grandson, my wife and I, we raised Our oldest grandson down here when we first moved here for 10 years, he was with us. And he went to Francis Marion school, and but he moved to graduate. He moved his graduating year, and he graduated in Ohio. But we used to take him out to the ball field, and we enjoyed watching him, play those games with everybody else and with his friends. And so we were always about community and having that fun, and we just want to see that coming back.
Where did you notice like a time period where that broke?
Yes, COVID. After COVID, it seems like people lost. We stayed in our homes. We segmented away from each other. And we never have been able to put that back together yet, in my opinion. I don't know if that's truthful or not, but that's just the opinion that I've seen. It seems as though, and it's not just here, all over the country. It might be all over the world. I don't know. Maybe some areas were able to come back together, but
became less social.
yeah, we became less social, and we went to social media and we expressed ourselves, and we have this belief that everything that I think of, I have the right to say. Well, yeah, you have the right to say it, but it doesn't mean you have to say it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I always try to think, is it useful? Was it harmful? Or is it necessary before you print it, before you put it out there? So, I mean, some things can be done in a discussion, but are you trying to build yourself up by some of the things that you say? Or what's your point? What are you trying to achieve? You have to ask yourself that. And so, like I said, I think a good conversation with somebody goes a lot further than what they read, because a lot of times what you type may have a completely different connotation by what you intended to relay.
Especially like things like punctuation.
Absolutely.
Like, it can change a lot.
It will. Yes, that comma and that period in a sentence will change the whole dynamic of the sentence. But a lot of people, they just say things, and it might come across very bitter, but they didn't mean that. They didn't mean it to come across that way. So a good conversation, I think, goes a lot further than what we send out there and write.
Absolutely.
So, but
not many trying to have conversation these days.
right. But I think the more we can have gathering spaces, and it doesn't always have to be at a party. It could be just sitting down and, like I said, with a good cup of coffee and some conversation and talk about some of these things. I think we can accomplish a lot. And that's why I open myself up. I appreciate you all so much for even allowing me to talk to you and the community on what we're trying to achieve together, because this is what it's going to take. More people sitting down, having that conversation, getting to know who we really are, and try to open yourself up to be available to as many people as you can.
We appreciate you because we know you're a busy man.
Oh yeah.
And for you to even free knowledge. Let me put that out there. Free knowledge. Like,
Thank you.
he's not charging for anything, just giving out valuable information. So I really appreciate it personally. And I know the movement does, our movement.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
We could go all day. We could go all day. But,
Well, I would say there's more that will be announced very soon. And I'm just going to tell you, I hadn't announced it anywhere else, so I might as well announce it here. I did recently receive another grant to finish the other part of this technology hub. So we have the Harris Technology Hub, but now we received a grant through Innovate Alabama. Right there, Innovate Alabama. They are a wonderful network partner of ours, and we received in excess of $370,000, which we're going to work on the second side of this building. We're going to work on the upstairs, second floor of this building as well, and we want it to be a premier location in Marion where people can come in and get educational training in this area. They could use the computers, and we're going to try to build it to an incubator to draw in those that want to start the tech startup companies. We're going to go after them and try to bring them right here to Marion.
Y'all see he got boots on the ground?
Excited to see what's in store.
It's coming.
Hopefully y'all ready too. Well, we're going to wrap it up. Can't get much better than this for a wrap, for a tape. We do all we can. We try as hard as we can.
We push.
All right. Thank you.
You all have a great day. We thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Till next time.